please silence all cell phones and electronic devices when speaking during the meeting. Please come to the podium, state your name, address, and speak loudly and clearly. Thank you. Item number 1 is approval of the agenda, and I'd like to make a motion before we approve the agenda that we table item number 5 to discussion and action on purchasing a time capsule.
That's number 4,
Item 4.
Mr. Chairman. On the agenda that,
We took the claims off because there were no claims.
So I'm looking at the wrong one. Item number 4, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll second that.
all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 2-0. Thank you. All right, then item number 2 is approval of meeting minutes from May 7th, 2024.
I'll move it.
Second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 2-0. Item number 3, financial report, and I call on Dennis Butler for that, please.
thank you, sir.
Okay, there's not any changes here. Basically, there are no expenditures this last period here that we're talking about. The only change would be $800, which we got from the journal for the request for information. That was about miscellaneous revenues, and we got $848.45 in the maintenance fund as interest. So the balance all remained the same, except miscellaneous grew a little bit, and the maintenance grew a little bit also. And the bonds are being paid, issued today to pay the loans. So we're in good shape.
And that amount, how much again, Dennis?
For the bond and stuff, I think it's right around $2,323,000. That includes interest also.
Thank you.
But we moved the money from the county lease payment, and that covers that, so it zeroes out. That's it.
Very good. We tabled item number 4, so we'll move to item number 5, discussion and action on PCOs 114R and 131, and I would call on Shane Albrecht for information on that, please.
And we're doing each of those separate as always,
Right,
Mr. Chairman.
114R first, please.
So, change order 114R, which is up on the screen for everybody, and it's gonna be hard to see because of all the documents, so I'll zoom into it a little bit. 114R is additional dampers. So everybody will remember there was PR 35R that added the dampers. This was an additional damper that was added. Also an additional fire damper, mechanical damper, and 1 diffuser that was added. So the cost of this is $14,626. And this was CCD 9. We have time and material sheets that everybody can see. So basically, with all this, we track this one with everybody's time on the job, Mr. Chairman. So this was this wasn't an estimate, this was actually what it cost. So if we look, that $14,626 is made up by $989 for Hausman, $12,849 for Suter. The fees, which are Hausman's 10% on their stuff, 5% on Suter, and the bond and insurance. That brings it to a total of $14,626. If there's any other questions on that, I'll gladly answer them for you.
And this work's already done.
Correct.
Yeah, this was back in what,
December,
or?
This PR was issued on November 29th.
Yeah. Yep.
It came out the same time as ASI 10.
I'll move it.
Aye, second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Dennis,
Passes 2-0.
Dennis has a question.
Where, is this money coming out of the contingency, or is this part of the contract, or where's the money coming from?
This comes out of the contingency right now. Dennis.
Okay,
Okay?
okay.
Okay. Then again, I call on Shane Albrecht for PCO 131, please.
All right, you guys are gonna have to give me a second because as you're watching on the screen, I'm going through all the time and material tickets for this work being done until I get to the next thing.
So Jody, if you can hear me on that last one, since Shane's working on the 114, on those missing dampeners, some of that are damages that we'll have to go after them for, correct? Because they were missing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I was shaking my head, yes, I was, that's all part of the PR 35 and part of what Larry Smith reviewed, okay? So the next one is PCO 131. Now PCO 131 is for part of PR 35R that was paid in January. And all this is, you guys approved the payment of it in January. This is correcting it to getting it from just a line item on the pay request to actually under a PCO, so that it's just paperwork, okay?
So we're not, these funds aren't leaving today that we,
Those funds have already left.
yeah.
All this is a paperwork thing to get it all transferred over to a PCO so that it has a line item on there, because right now it's just listed incorrectly on the pay request. Okay, so this is for $75,911.01. Okay, and there's a breakdown of it, and this, we've already walked through this before and was already approved with the pay request that it was paid on. Okay. Dennis, did you have another question?
Well, some people ask me on these change orders, is this increasing our total cost? But all this is covered by contingency, right? So we don't keep increasing the cost every time we do this. They're all covered, because people say, oh, now we're up to 64, whatever. You need to understand, these are all covered through the contingency. It's in the total package already, correct? Okay. Perfect.
Okay. So we need no action on that.
You need a motion to approve it because it's gonna come up on PCCO.
Oh, that's right, it will, that's right. I make a motion to approve, PCO 131.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Very good, passes 2-0. Item number 6 on the agenda is discussion and action on PCCO 026, and again, I call on Shane Albrecht, please.
Okay, so there's a change that we need to make to this. If you could see on your screen right now, we're basically crossing out the whole description section of this PCCO, and we're adding in there this statement. The authority acknowledges that Hausman reserves the right to claim an appropriate extension of time and accompanying costs related to such time due to the additional work set forth in this PCCO. So instead of that big long verbiage that everybody's seen, that there was a question or two that the authority treasurer, Mark Nelson, brought up, that is what our legal counsel said that needs to be changed to, so we're striking this out. Ron will initial beside where that is, and then he will sign it, but only after you guys approve it, of course, but with that change to the verbiage, okay? Is there questions on that change to the verbiage? Okay.
Anything else from you?
No, so the whole total of this is $90,537.01, and that is for PCO 114R and PCO 131. Okay.
And $75,911.01 of that's already been paid.
Yes.
I would move approval with the change in the description.
Okay, I second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Passes 2-0. Thank you. Item number 7 on the agenda for today is information and update on the LEC project. And again, I would call on Shane Albrecht from Baker Group, please.
Yes, so in the last few weeks, we've had some good things going on, and some corrections to finally get us to places. Last Friday, PR 49R was issued. 49 came out last Wednesday, so excuse me for not being able to tell you the dates off the top of my head. I think Wednesday is like the 17th, and I think Friday is the 19th, but don't quote me on that without looking at a calendar. CCD 14 was issued on Saturday, which is the 20th. CCD 14 covers the work in PR 49R. For everybody's knowledge, we've had some back and forth between Introba, our expert, and everybody else. And probably for the first time in a long time, everybody's all in agreement. We have a plan on what we need for valves. So PR 49 basically supplements ASI 10. It replaces PR 42, PR 42R. It replaces and answers RFI 557. It does PR 43, PR 45, PR 48, ASI 11, PR 49, and then PR 49R. Okay? I know that seemed like a very long and confusing amount of letters and pieces, but it has been us going back and forth, values changing multiple times. This has finally got us to a place where we can do our final testing and balancing once these pieces come. So right now, the summary of where we are. PR 49 adds 4 manual valves, balancing valves. It changes some of the control valves. Bottom line on that stuff, we have 4 valves that right now with lead times we should be able to have in a week. Okay? All the control valves have move around, but we don't need additional ones. Okay? They put one document so our contractor can have a chance to not be looking at every one of those documents I just referenced to try to balance stuff. We've gotten answers, we've got backwalks done. There's been a huge push and a thank you to everybody from Baker Group having people out there helping with backwalks, to the authority having Mr. Wick out there, to Kenny Schmitz from Building Services, Kevin Ross from GGA out helping do backwalks. Got a long ways through all the cells and backwalks with some final correction items. They've started unwrapping the tables, and once the tables get unwrapped, we will be able to install the TVs and stuff in the rooms. They're waiting for that stuff. Work has started on elevator 6. We need to get that wrapped up. There's been, we're up to 587 RFIs. There's only 2 opened RFIs. One is on some labels, UL labels on windows. The UL labels right now, because of where they're installed, are a hazard if an inmate would get them off of the windows. So we're asking to move them to the other side of the window, and we're waiting for the manufacturer to approve that move on the UL stuff. The other question deals with the location of the wall for the Nelson elevator. And for everybody's knowledge, just to remember what the Nelson elevator is, that is elevator 6, and it is the wall that we have to build up on the roof for the Nelson elevator. Okay? Everything else, so we'll have an OAC meeting tomorrow. We're down to some mechanical equipment that we need to punch. We've got some doors that need to be functioning a little bit better, and then basically all this PR work needs to be accomplished so that we can get people into the building. And the chairman will read a update on the project, and I'll pass out the press release. I'll do questions first. Anybody have any questions, and then we'll have the chairman read.
Well, I got one, but this may be one for Jody, or just making sure, like the balancing valves that we had to add, the control valves, those are an error by the way of Introba, again, correct?
Yes, this is all part of that same thing.
This is all their design flaws.
Yes, this is all going back to ASI 10 that was issued on November 29th. Okay?
So, how much time do we need to get all the valves that I know you said a week on some, in a week will we have everything that we need, or
we're still waiting on, VAVs and some fan power boxes. Right now, most of the ceilings out there are opened up
Yep.
for that work to happen. One of the fan power boxes has been replaced, and that is fan power box 2-04, which is in the main hallway between the sheriff's office and booking. That one has been replaced, but there is 5. So fan power box 1-01, fan power box 1-02, fan power box 2-01, fan power box 2-02, 2-03, all get replaced with new fan power boxes, so that's 5. And then there is one fan power box, which is fan power box 2-05, which gets replaced with the VAV box. That VAV box, when I checked yesterday, still was not here.
So we're gonna have one VAV box.
We're waiting on one VAV box. The only other outstanding item that we have to get this accomplished would be PR50. PR50 will be the master control, which is the main brains. Right now, the sound level at that area is at 60, as well as the secondary control offices. Introba was to have us stuff last week, and I haven't seen that yet, but there's been emails and correspondence from GGA pushing this very hard.
So when you say 60, refresh.
Okay,
Indus-
so-
no, on that, but industry standard is what, 40 or
35.
35?
35.
35, and we're at 60
Correct.
for noise.
Correct. So right now, we've got to get that corrected because that radiated noise will affect the radio operations and stuff in master control.
Well, with all the cameras and microphones throughout the jail portion, those guys in master control gotta be able to hear
Correct.
everybody
Correct.
communicating with them, and so, yeah,
Correct.
we gotta get that sound down there.
Correct.
And there was a number of places where it did hit 55 and 60. So-
Yeah, so that was the reason for everybody, it's been so long, I apologize, but I haven't given an update. That's the reason for the 5 fan power boxes and the 1 VAV being replaced, was from noise levels.
Sure.
Okay.
In the front office.
Yeah. 1-01 and 1-02 are basically on the court side of the front when you come in, okay? The 1-01 is in the clerk's office. 2-01 is in video visitation. 2-02 is in the DARE office. 2-03 is in transport and something else.
So we're waiting on Troba to give us a solution to their problem for the master control and the noise levels in there.
Correct.
And secondary control too,
Yes.
or just, okay,
Master and secondary,
Both
okay.
floors or just,
both floors.
okay. So we're still waiting on them for that.
Yes.
Fine.
Okay.
Thanks, Ty. That's all the questions I have.
Ready to do a press release?
Yes, sir. Can you give it so I can pass it out to people, please? Give one to Karen and Dennis. And Mr. Nelson probably too. You got one for everybody up there?
Okay, the authority's focus continues to be working with Housing Construction and Goldberg Group on the completion of the project. PR 47 was issued on April 11th, 2024, and is for work on elevator 6. On April 15th, 2024, the authority issued CCD 012 for this work under PR 47 on elevator 6, which allows work to start while pricing is negotiated with Housman Construction. PR 48 was issued on April 17th, 2024, and is for work on fan-powered boxes on ASI 010. On April 19th, 2024, the authority issued CCD 013 for this work under PR 48 on ASI 010 mechanical issues. Issuing this CCD allows work to start while pricing is negotiated with Housman Construction. PR 49 was issued on Wednesday, May 15, 2024. PR 49R was issued on Friday, May 17, 2024. CCD 014 was issued on Saturday, May 18, 2024. Allows work to start while pricing is negotiated with Housman Construction. PR 49R remains PR 46 from PR 49. This added missing ventilation to room 0046. The missing ventilation will be dealt with after the building opens because of cost and time constraints. PR 49R replaces ASI 010, PR 42, RFI 551, PR 42R, PR 43, PR 45, PR 48, ASI 011, and RFI 581. The authority's position is the actual work on the mechanical system, including additional coils and replacement of certain control and balancing valves, as well as the changing out of fan boxes and adding of a VAV box, is due to errors on the part of the mechanical engineering services provided by Goldberg's engineering consultant in Troba. The equipment, once received, will take approximately 3 weeks to install. The system can't be completely balanced and commissioned until the valves and fan-powered boxes are installed and ceilings reinstalled. The authority is issuing this press release to our continued commitment to keep the public appraised of changes regarding the substantial completion date. Based upon the current information now known to the authority, we believe the substantial completion date will now be in end of July 2024. The authority and county continue to be damaged by the law enforcement center project being delayed. The authority and its council continue to assess its additional costs and damages on the project caused by the inactions, and concurrent delays by Hausman, Goldberg, and Goldberg's engineering at Troba, and will hold the responsible parties liable for such additional costs and damages.
So Shane, is the couple weeks added to the substantial completion because of what we're waiting to hear back from the Troba master control and the secondary control?
The couple of weeks that are added to the substantial completion date, if you remember, I told you it was very tight last time with, basically with elevator 6 not finishing until around the 24th of June, okay? And we had to get all this other work stacked in. Because PR 49 just came out and changed things, we gotta give them time to react, time to get the pieces. It's only a week, but it's so tight now
Sure.
that we have to give Hausman time to put stuff back once we get this all bounced.
So what's the timeline if, like, let's say hypothetically, we don't hear back from Troba on these other 2 rooms this week or next week?
Sure. Right now, what our experts are telling us, it's a low pressure ductwork change and adding another diffuser to master control, and it's some wrapping of so air handler 3 sits literally right above secondary control. It is putting some sound bats in the curb that sits on to stop that radiated noise from coming down through.
It's coming out to the floor, okay.
So, if the solution continues with the low pressure ductwork, is all something that Suter can make in their shop, and those diffusers aren't long lead times. So right now that ductwork is 8 inches in size, and our experts are recommending it goes to 12 inches in size, and that will cause the noise to be lessened in master control.
So they're saying there's a little bit there, but it's not,
It's
just not a whole lot within the scope of those areas.
Yes, unless somebody like before, Troba comes back and says, now we gotta order another fan power box, okay?
Sure.
So right now, it's keeping everybody apprised that we were on a tight schedule to hit early July. Because of the questions and the unknowns, we need a couple weeks to be able to react to that.
And we haven't heard from Troba this week?
We have not. And we have followed up with Kevin twice.
Sure.
Okay. And he's followed up with Troba way more than that.
Well, hopefully we'll get something out of them soon.
Okay, anything else, Shane?
I do not have anything the only thing I would like to add for anybody, PR 49R removes PR 46, which is an exhaust fan, downstairs that we'll do at a later time, okay?
Which we covered in the press release.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Not for Shane.
Okay, very good. We'll move on to
Got
item.
questions for Trovo, but not for Shane.
Yeah. We'll move on to item number 8, any public concerns? Seeing none. Item number 9, authority board member concerns?
I had one I expressed to Shane earlier in the week, but sounds like I don't know if to KSCJ last week. Woody Gottberg requested or stated that he wanted to come out and look at the courtrooms as a member of the press club and make sure, or just see what technology and stuff was out there. It sounds like, what did you say, Shane?
June 3rd.
3rd. He's going to come out and
The
go
only
through
thing
it and all that.
the only thing he will be coming out to is to look at, his mobots that he talked about, making sure there's plugins, and I'll coordinate that with Peggy from courts to know that he's coming.
Sure.
Okay.
Good. That's all I have.
Okay, and I have nothing. So with that, we're a little bit early, we'll stand down, we go into closed session at 2:45.